Good evening and welcome to the Northern Sun Experience. Last season, Southwest Minnesota State's football team flipped the script, taking 2014's 3-8 record and rebounding at 8-3. It was the Mustangs' best season since 1991, and SMSU is looking to maintain its positive momentum. They certainly got a big test in last Thursday's season opener, hosting Minnesota Duluth. The Mustangs had lost 8 straight to the Bulldogs dating back to 1999. SMSU down 3-0 in the first, but not for long. Blake Gimble to the back of the end zone for Ty Stephenson. 14-yard touchdown. The refs say he held on long enough for the score. 7-3 Mustangs. Bulldogs respond later in the first. DJ Hebert on the ones and twos, taking the jet sweep and diving for the pylon. UMD retakes the lead 9-7. And we know he can run, but just 2 minutes later, Hebert shows he can jump, leaping for this 27-yard touchdown from Drew Bauer. Minnesota Duluth with a 16-7 lead after the first. They would add to it in the second. Bauer missed 3 games last year with an injury. UMD much happier to have him back, sliding into the end zone for a 23-7 lead. Mustangs gained some ground just before halftime in a big way. Off the reverse flea flicker, Gimble finds Nate Hewitt wide open, 50-yard touchdown. SMSU down 23-14 at the half. Move to the third, Mustangs now down 29-14, but pulling out more razzle-dazzle. The law firm Raphael Lawson Gale with a spin move on the screen. SMSU now down 29-21. Bulldogs would continue to air it out, however. Bauer up top, this time the Jason Baltz 44-yard strike, 35-21 UMD. It's 38-28 Duluth late in the fourth when SMSU makes one final push. First, it's Devontae Beal with a short dive to make it 38-35 with 3 minutes to go. After forcing a UMD 3-and-out, SMSU takes control and ends it just the way it started. Gimble to Ty Stephenson, ridiculous catch in the left corner of the end zone. That touchdown with 23 seconds left proved to be the difference in a wild 42-38 Mustang victory. Not only their first against the Bulldogs since 1999, but the team's first ever against a top 25 opponent.
Knew if we could get a stop and just give us a chance. We're getting a lot of one-on-one matchups. Guys are getting open and we're getting good protection. And tell you what, we thrive on these moments.
The other big game of the weekend came in Sioux Falls. Northern State visiting Augustana. Vikings up 7-0 in the first, but Northern State's new quarterback making some moves. Christian McElvain off the read option goes right up the middle, 28 yards to tie the game at 7. Second quarter now, Augie driving and Trey Hyde floats it up for Caden Quintanilla. 8-yard strike makes it 14-7 Vikings at the half. Third quarter, Augie increases its lead. Hyde to Matt Fujinami, first career catch, also his first career touchdown. 21-7 Augustana. That's when the game got really interesting. After an interception in Augie territory, Northern State takes advantage. McElvain to tight end Connor Doherty, 10-yard strike, cuts it to 21-14. Fourth quarter, Wolves even things up. Nick Truan finds some space to his left, stumbles into the end zone, 12-yard rush, and we're tied at 21. Viking field goal makes it 24-21 Augie, but then Northern State takes its first lead. McElvain once again using the read option to perfection. Wolves up 28-24 midway through the fourth. And that's when things got crazy. 2.5 to go. Augie needs 88 yards, and they get 40 of them on this great pitch and catch from Trey Hyde to Matt Heller. On the very next play, Hyde goes back to Heller again, and he makes another spectacular catch down to the 2-yard line, 86 yards in just 2 plays. The ensuing play, Quintanilla bounces to the right and into the end zone, capping off a 33-second drive and giving Augie a 31-28 lead. So now it's Northern's turn to respond, and the bounces were going their way. The ricochet is nearly intercepted, but caught by Doherty. The Wolves would settle for a field goal, and we go to overtime. Northern kicks a field goal in their frame, but Augie gets a touchdown in theirs. Hyde to Heller in the back of the end zone for the win. And Augustana wins a thriller, 37-34 over Northern State. When we come back, we'll go through the rest of the NSIC football slate, including the other Sioux Falls school, USF, looking to make a big statement on the road in St. Cloud.
The Northern Sun Experience on Midcoast Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and Dakota Land Honda.
Welcome back to the Northern Sun Experience. Over the past 2 years, the University of Sioux Falls has gone a combined 19-3 in the regular season. But with only one playoff appearance in those 2 years, the Cougars know the margin for error is thin. And after getting a taste of the postseason last year, USF is determined to get back. That journey started on Thursday night on the road against St. Cloud State. Scoreless late in the first when dual-threat quarterback Luke Papillion gets to work, finding some space on the left side for the 3-yard touchdown, 7-0 coup. Second quarter, Huskies even it up. Out of the pistol, Jaden Huff gets some nice blocking and a clear path up the middle. 2-yard strike, and we're tied at 7. Just a minute before half, Papillion does it again. Out of the shotgun, 9-yard run, and USF leads 14-7 at halftime. Second half, Cougars blow the game open. Papillion showing off the passing touch to Josh Angulo for the 7-yard touchdown to make it 21-7. Less than 2 minutes later, Papillion rolling to his left, lobs it up to a wide-open Brady Rose, who takes a leisurely jaunt into the end zone. 64 yards, 28-7 at that point. And then the Cougars open up a little trickery. The toss to Rose, option pass downfield to Kyle Gronweg, 39-yard touchdown. And Sioux Falls gets a solid opening week win on the road, 49-13 at St. Cloud State. The last of the 2015 playoff teams, Minnesota State, was at Minot State Thursday. Beavers have an improved defense. Check out the close by Justin Gonzalez on the tackle for loss. Minot State will be better, but the Maverick offense was simply too much. Ryan Schlichty at quarterback rolls out to find Justin Arnold, 10-yard touchdown, 14-0 MSU. Late in the third, the inside handoff to Virgil Hammond, finding some space on the left side, diving into the end zone from 13 yards out. 35-0 at that point, en route to a 35-7 victory. Bemidji State, a team getting a lot of preseason hype, hosted Upper Iowa Thursday night. Tied at 3 in the first, but not for long. Jordan Hine with a screen to Gina Adams, juking his way down the sideline, diving in from 13 yards out to make it 10-3 Beavers. Later in the first, it's Hine to Adams again, this time from a bit further out. 53 yards on the wheel route, 16-3 Bemidji State. Upper Iowa's offense would try to stay toe for toe, but it's a hand that gets this touchdown. The left hand of Jared Edmonds, great one-handed catch, cuts the lead to 16-10. It's 23-10 Beavers now when Hine shows off his legs, rolling to his right, cutting back inside, going back across the field, a lot of real estate for what ends up as a 40-yard run, 30-10 Bemidji State. And the high-powered Beaver offense caps it off with some trickery. On the reverse, Brad Birchfield finds some open space down the right sideline, and he takes full advantage, 65 yards to the house. And Bemidji State starts off 1-0 with a 38-24 victory over Upper Iowa. Staying in Minnesota, MSU Moorhead hosted Wayne State in its home opener. No score in the first, Demetrius Carr with a bubble screen to Corey Ambrose, and he does the rest. 25 yards, 7-0 Dragons. It's 7-3 now in the second when Carr decides to take it himself off the read option. 8-yard run makes it 14-3. 2 minutes later, Wayne State strikes back. Zach Osborne going up top and Nate Rogers coming on down. 39-yard touchdown cuts the Dragon lead to 14-10. And that's as close as the Wildcats would get. Next Dragons possession, Carr lobs it up himself for Damon Gibson, 37-yard strike, 21-10 at that point, and the Dragons top the Wildcats 41-24. Concordia St. Paul hosting the University of Mary this weekend, and this one was a defensive struggle. In the first, the Golden Bears' Jonas Schenderline nails a 43-yard field goal for a 3-0 lead. It would stay that way until the fourth quarter when CSP put the game out of reach. Darius Chafe with a 2-yard plunge into the end zone to make it 10-0, and the Golden Bears get a late touchdown for a 17-0 final over UMary. Final game of the slate, pit Minnesota Crookston against Winona State. Warriors already up 28-0 and adding to it. Jack Nelson up top to Cameron Johnson, 37-yard touchdown, and it's 35-0. Later in the second, Eric Berth gets the first of his 2 rushing touchdowns from 7 yards out, and it's 42-0. Warrior special teams also had a great game against the Golden Eagles. Jake Ballou takes the punt at the 18, makes a couple of moves, and will not be stopped. 82 yards to the house. Winona State gets the victory over Minnesota Crookston, 68-0. So a high-scoring, high-flying, and highly dramatic Week 1 now lends itself to Week 2 and a lot of interesting early-season matchups. The 1 o'clock games on Saturday, September 10th include Augustana at UMary, Concordia St. Paul at Minnesota Crookston, and a couple of 0-1 teams looking to bounce back as St. Cloud State visits Upper Iowa. At 6, we have Minot State at Wayne State, MSU Moorhead at Sioux Falls, and Bemidji State at Minnesota State. Then probably the 2 most intriguing games of the evening. Minnesota Duluth hoping to bounce back from a heartbreaker hosting Winona State in their home opener. And then SMSU travels to Aberdeen to take on a Northern State team who hung tough with Augustana. It should be another great weekend of NSIC football between the North and South divisions. When we come back, we switch gears to soccer and volleyball and check in on some of the preseason favorites. And welcome back to the Northern Sun Experience. Minot State soccer team is coming off its greatest season in school history, making the Division II NCAA tournament and winning an opening round game against Winona State. The Beavers were ranked 4th in the preseason soccer poll, which features a very tight race at the top. Minot State hoping to start the season off on the right foot against Black Hills State, and they certainly did just that. 3rd minute of the game, Chloe Melton slips it in off the right side for an early 1-0 lead. 2-0 now in the 28th minute when it's the Ninja. Her name is Ninfa Ramirez. They call her Ninja up there, and I call that a goal to make it 3-0. Ninja would add a header in the second half, and the Beavers notch a 4-0 early season victory. Well, from the pitch to the court, Concordia St. Paul Volleyball is once again considered the top dog. The Golden Bears are the preseason favorite for the 13th consecutive year in NSIC Volleyball, and they started off this season with a big invitational right in their backyard. The Golden Bears took on the 5th-ranked team in the nation, Western Washington, Thursday. First set, a long volley between the two squads will eventually end with a Riley Hansen kill right down the middle. CSP wins set 1. Second set, more of the same from the Golden Bears. This time it's Emma Lang with the cross-court kill. Concordia takes set 2, 25-15. Third set, match point, Anna Schlake gets a friendly net bounce on the serve for the game-winning ace. And the Golden Bears sweep Western Washington 3-0. Later in the weekend, Concordia would take on Northern State in an early season conference showdown. First set, see if this looks familiar. A great setup for Riley Hansen for another hammer. Golden Bears win set 1, 25-13. Second set, the team switch sides, but the kill looks like a mirror image. This time it's Sarah Masick throwing it down. CSP takes the second set 25-14. Match point in the third set off the Northern response. Anna Schlake just decides to end it right there, showing no mercy on the kill. Concordia St. Paul tops Northern State 3-0. In fact, the Golden Bears swept all 4 games in their opening season tournament, winning 12 consecutive sets. When we come back, the NSIC is celebrating its 25th anniversary this season in several unique ways. We'll introduce you to some of the conference's top athletes of all time and its most distinguished alumni next. Welcome back to the Northern Sun Experience. As the NSIC celebrates its 25th anniversary this season, the conference is revealing its top 25 male and top 25 female athletes of all time. Throughout the season, we will introduce you to new members of the class, reaching a grand total of 50 former student athletes. And our very first member of the NSIC's 25th anniversary team is former Minnesota Duluth running back Isaac Odom. The 2-time NSIC Offensive Player of the Year set all kinds of records for the Bulldogs and the conference between 2008 and 2010, finishing as the NSIC's career scoring leader while setting single-season records for touchdowns and total points. Odom was also a Harlan Hill Trophy finalist, a 3-time NCAA All-American, and was named to ESPN the magazine's All-Academic team in 2009. But all of those individual accolades are magnified considering he helped UMD win 2 football national championships. Congrats to Isaac Odom on being one of the NSIC's top 25 male athletes. And in addition to recognizing the top 25 male and female athletes in the conference, this season's Under the Northern Sun campus spotlights will feature distinguished alumni from each of the NSIC schools. Tonight, it's St. Cloud State University, and a former basketball star sticking around to serve her community.
Talisha Barlow joined the Huskies women's basketball team in the fall of 2008. As she started her college career, she realized that playing college basketball wouldn't be as easy as high school.
Well, the first thing that I noticed was a change of speed. It was a lot faster. The girls were a lot bigger and a lot more athletic than what I experienced in high school. So it was great having that type of leadership and competition because I never took a day off. It made me want to work as hard as I could because I wanted to be able to be a valuable asset to my teammates.
At the beginning of her sophomore year, Talisha and her teammates entered a new era with a new head coach.
Talisha was a sophomore when I arrived, and so just really happy that I had the opportunity to coach her. I remember watching her in high school. She had an outstanding high school career, and so was excited when I got here and had the opportunity to coach her.
She's so passionate about the game that honestly, it's contagious. It made everybody excited to be there and want to play basketball.
So she was never afraid to pay the price, got after it in the weight room, worked hard at conditioning. Of course, she loves the game of basketball, so going to practice, I think, was easy for her because it's something she loved and enjoyed and really tried to push and channel herself.
But the challenges that come with getting a new coach didn't seem to faze any of the Huskies.
It was exciting because we had great senior leadership, and so Talisha played a big role in that, but she was mentored by some outstanding individuals, and we had a great first year.
That whole year was so fun. It was amazing, and you can tell we're also motivated in practice, and which then led over to the games.
The great thing about Talisha, she's such a great team player. She's really unselfish, but she was a player who could take over a game when you needed her to, but really had high basketball IQ, knew how to get her teammates involved, but when we needed a bucket, she was able to do that for us. When I was here, we won the conference tournament, went to the national tournament, and she was a big part of that.
And I'll just never forget that feeling at the last seconds of the game. I think it was Anna, she had the ball, she had the last game, and I remember she just chucked it up and we all just hugged at that last second and ran to each other because we knew we finally did it.
After finishing her sophomore year, Talisha pushed herself harder and harder during the off seasons to ensure her senior year was great.
To it that summer, I prepared extremely hard for my senior year, and as soon as my senior year started, I ended up getting mono. My swing was very enlarged, so I was out for a little over a month. Shortly after I came back, then I twisted my ankle very badly in one of our games. So for a while, I wasn't actually able to practice. I was sitting out, but I was still trying to push through and still encouraging my teammates and still being a motivator.
After finishing up her senior year, Talisha found a career quickly working for the community she called home for the past 4 years.
One of the highlights for me was when Talisha became a police officer and we went to her swearing in and she asked me to pin her badge on her.
I actually waited last minute to tell her. I didn't want to tell her because I figured she's going to get all worked up. She was there on time, of course, and I went over there and I asked her and she just looked shocked. And I've said, no, I'm serious, I want you to pin it on me. It was incredible because it was one of those things where I never got to tell her how much of an impact that she actually had in my life. If it wasn't for her and her encouragement, I probably wouldn't be where I am now. And that's the kind of coaches that the Northern Sun Conference has. When she's pinning the badge on me, I finally got to use the line she always told me before big games. I told her to rise to the occasion.
And we joke about it to this day because I was so worried I was going to stick her that I was having a hard time getting it in the little hole. But that was really an honor for me that she thought that much of me to ask me to do that, and that really, really meant a lot.
Talisha believes that her college career helped shape her into the person she is today.
Yeah, I could honestly say that if it wasn't for my experience here at St. Cloud State University, I don't believe that I would be where I am now. I had a lot of helping hands when I was here that really took the time out of their day to sit down with me and really seen the potential in me and believed in me and helped open doors for me. So if it wasn't for my experience here, I have no doubt in my mind I probably would not be a police officer.
And speaking of NSIC alums, some good news for a couple hoping to make NFL squads. Former Minnesota State Maverick Adam Thielen returns for his 4th season as a wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings. A former practice squad player, Thielen has elevated himself up the depth chart over the course of his career. In addition to Thielen, former Maverick offensive lineman Chris Reed made the final 53-man roster for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Former Augustana Vikings C.J. Ham was signed to the Minnesota Vikings practice squad, while former Concordia St. Paul defensive end Zach Moore inked a deal to be on the Dallas Cowboys practice squad. When we come back, it's the triumphant return of DB's picks, my top 5 plays of the past week in the NSIC.
The Northern Sun Experience on Midcoast Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and Dakota Land Honda.
And welcome back to the Northern Sun Experience. For the 3rd straight year, we'll end our shows with DB's picks, my top 5 plays of the past week. And for week 1 of the fall sports season, there was plenty to choose from. We'll start at number 5 and head to Bemidji, where Brad Birchfield finds plenty of field in front of him. Off the reverse, the Beavers' junior receiver makes one move and has nothing but open space in front of him. This 65-yard touchdown run clinched a victory for Bemidji State, as well as clinching the number 5 play of the past week. At number 4, we stay in Bemidji, only this time we're giving a hand to Upper Iowa. Jared Edmonds with the one-handed, left-handed catch for a 29-yard touchdown. Take another look, the Bemidji State defenders draped all over Edmonds, but the junior is able to free one hand for the catch and score at number 4. For number 3, we head to Marshall, where SMSU continues to be the best NSIC team at executing trick plays. Off the reverse flea flicker, Blake Gimble finds Nate Hewitt for a 50-yard touchdown against Minnesota Duluth. Here it is again, Gimble hands off to Ashanti Payne, who flips to Raphael Lawson-Gable, who tosses back to Gimble, who chucks it up to Hewitt in the end zone. And while it's the third best play of the past week, it's still not SMSU's best touchdown. But before that, at number 2, the first of our 2 game winners. In overtime, Augustana's Trey Hyde rolls to his right and finds Matt Heller in the back of the end zone over 2 defenders for the win over Northern State. Heller had 2 spectacular catches late in the fourth to help Augie keep up, but his tippy-toe act for the win comes in at number 2. But our number 1 play, we go back to Marshall for an historic win. Blake Gimble to Ty Stephenson in the left corner of the end zone for a game-winning touchdown. This catch gave SMSU a 42-38 win over UMD and the number 1 play of the past week. Thanks once again to all of our NSIC schools. We'll be back right here next week for another Northern Sun Experience.